is Michelle. We talk about things life, love, spirituality, love, attraction, all of that juicy goodness. In this video, I am going to share a success story from one of my clients. And I actually have three little mini success stories. One's kind of big, and then the other two, I mean, they're all kind of big because it's changing their lives. But I want to share the process that they went through in order to call these desires in. So the first story is my client who manifested $26,000 and the sale of her land. So she lives on this beautiful property out in New York, and it's her father's home and it's his land. And she was wanting to go through the process of just selling the land, not the home. She wants to stay in the home with her kids. And she had left her job that was kind of like an energy drain. She was exhausted going there every single day. It wasn't a match to who she was. The people were not a match to who she was, but she was so scared. So when I was working with her, we were walking her through this leap of faith. She's like, I'm going to leave my job. She's like, is it safe to do this? She's like, I don't have anything lined up. And I said, if it feels good in your body to not be going there every single day, then yes. I was like, you can trust that the universe will totally hook you up and bring you all of your needs and bring you everything that you need for your next steps of whatever your soul is calling you to do next. So back in the winter, she took the leap and she left her job. And just now in August, only a few, 6 months later, 5 months later, she literally gets handed $26,000 for doing absolutely nothing. She didn't work for this money. And I actually said to her, I was like, how much money would you have made at your job if you stayed there for that amount of months? And it definitely was the sale of her land and this $26,000 like doubled the amount of money that she probably would have made at her job, with taxes taken out and everything. So anyway, so go back to the story that so she left her job and she was starting to do some side jobs. She was starting her Reiki practice. And 3 weeks before the money came in, she messaged me, and we weren't currently working together. She wasn't in my mentorship at the time, but we've worked together many times in the past. And she's like, Michelle, she's like, I hate to do this, but she's like, I'm in a really low point. I don't know what's going on. I feel like my habits are out of control. And these are all signs, you guys, that your manifestation is coming. She was kind of like overeating. She wasn't doing her healthy routine. She kind of felt like there was like an entity or something on her. But to me, I just see it as self-sabotage. When we know something big is coming, when our soul knows that change is coming, or we're about to get something that maybe we don't feel worthy of getting, we tend to self-sabotage. We tend to do the actions before the thing arrives to kind of not really sabotage the thing from arriving, but our nervous system is just so startled by this big thing that we don't even consciously know is about to arrive. But our soul knows. So then our ego freaks out and we start to go into chaos. We start to do old habits that are not good. We start to maybe, smoke cigarettes, or we drink more, or we just don't go meditate more. So she was in that phase of kind of self-destructing a little bit. And she was like, I need help. Can you hold me accountable? So I started working with her for free. We've worked together for so many years. I'm not going to let you suffer. And so I was just talking to her each week and kind of letting her know, like, hey, you're good. I'm like, did you get your walk in today? Did we do this? Did we do that? And just kind of like nurturing her, right? Like a sister would. And then out of nowhere, she gets this call randomly. You guys, this is what God does. This is what the universe does. When you are trying to manifest money or opportunities, it literally, God can move a mountain to bring you what you need. So she gets this call, and it's from an insurance company. And actually, it might even be from her old job, but there was a claim for an injury that she had had at a certain job. She worked for the state, and they were asking her for a settlement of $26,000. She like hurt her shoulder back then or something. So she literally like didn't even remember getting hurt. She had filled out zero paperwork to kind of put this into action to actually get money for the injury. They had done this themselves. And I see it as God moving people, changing numbers on a check, sending emails. I believe it's all God's work, the universe's work. It literally creates things out of thin air to bring you your desires. And there's a motorcycle going by, which is confirmation that you can trust that if you need something, the universe will find a way to bring it to you. So on the same day, so she gets this call about the $26,000 and her mind is blown. She's like, what is going on? She's like, I just quit my job. My savings is starting to kind of like dwindle. and her side jobs weren't making her a ton of money. And now she just gets handed $26,000. Like, what? It's like laughable. But the same day, she's been trying to sell her property for like months. And she finally gets the call that she literally is getting the sale. There's a buyer, they're closing next week. So I don't remember how much money she didn't, I don't think we talked about how much money she was selling the land for. She's literally getting so much money next week. And it just came out of nowhere and it all came on the same day. So her nervous system was not prepared for this, and that's why she was doing those old habits, and she just felt like she was self-destructing. It's because your nervous system has to be prepared. I talk about this all the time. If our nervous system is not ready to receive something bigger than what we've ever received before, we have to calibrate to it. We have to get ready to receive it. We have to expand the vessel to then hold more. So that was her body expanding itself. And when the body is like really going through an opening, our mind perceives it as chaos, as change. Oh no, this isn't good. So then we start to sabotage and we start to self-soothe. So she was soothing herself with these old patterns and addictions because her ego knew that change was on the way. Crazy story, right? Okay, so the next two are from my mentorship clients, and they're both women who have been wanting to manifest better treatment from other women in their reality. And the one girl was working next door to a woman who was not treating her nicely. You know, she would ask her to do small things, like if she was on vacation, she'd ask her to get the mail for her. This woman was like, no, I have too much on my plate. I can't do it. Like, how hard is it just to grab somebody's mail? But this woman was just resistant and did not want to help her. Well, after she started my mentorship, we started going in, changing her subconscious. We started journaling how women are always showing up for her and treating her so well. And literally within, I think it was the fourth week of our mentorship, she noticed on her Ring camera, one of her plants had fallen over. And that same woman who never touches her things, never supports her, never does anything for her, she walked up to the plant and fixed the plant and kind of put it in place and then walked away. And this was like, I know it's a small action, but this is proof that somebody who was not showing up for her, was not doing anything kind for her, did something out of the goodness of her heart when she was not around. And she saw it on the Ring camera and she was like, Michelle, she's like, I literally just had a falling out with this girl and she just like fixed my plant for me. She's like, what is going on? And I was like, this is the magic of the inner work. When we do the inner work, we really start to create change, or the universe starts to create change through other people in our reality. So we really can change people. We're not really changing who they are, we're changing how they're responding to us, because that same person could still treat somebody else poorly, but we change ourselves and then they respond differently to us. So the final story is, my other client has been wanting to manifest like more loving connections with her mom and her aunts and like more women in her reality that, and she has a history of those kind of women completely diminishing her in childhood. So it's kind of like unheard of for her mom and her aunts to do anything kind. And we were, again, I think it was like 4 or 5 weeks into our mentorship, and she sends me a message that her aunt had texted her. I think she saw her at a family function and she was observing my client with her son and how good of a mom she was. And the aunt sent her like this long text, and I'll share it here, about how she was celebrating her as a mom and how great her son is. And she was just totally being so sweet and so kind. And my client was like, my aunt has never sent anything like this to me in my entire life. So both of these clients, around the same time, the same week of our mentorship, they were receiving all of this love from these other women in their life, where that was their main purpose of, it's not their main purpose of why they signed up for the mentorship, but it was a perk of it, because we didn't know that that was something that they struggled with, was they were manifesting women that were not treating them well. And we called it in and we shifted their reality, and now they're starting to get this like queen treatment from all these women in their lives. And that's also going to call in more manifestations, because now you're seeing your worth and you're not settling and you're not being treated poorly. If anything, God in the universe is using life to now shower you with so much love. And when you get that kind of treatment, like that woman just fixing the plant, that's life loving you back. That's you being in the flow. And I told them, I'm like, listen, you're going to start to get more manifestations because you're experiencing love from life in different ways. And when we are in the frequency of love, we're limitless. We can co-create anything. So my client manifesting the money and the sale of her land, Another client manifesting her aunt, texting her that wonderful thing, which she's never done in her like 30 some years of being alive. My client was 30 something. And then my other client who was working next to this woman that literally refused to help her. She literally would text her and ask her for help, and the woman would say no. And here she is, out of the goodness of her heart, just starting to fix up my client's front door space at her work. So we are capable of so much. We just have to go within. We have to do our I ams. We have to do Neville Goddard's teachings. We have to imagine ourselves being the person that is receiving the love, that is receiving the money. And my first client that manifested the money, she went out in nature that week before she got the money. She was grounding herself. She was upping her healthy routines. She shifted out. But guess what she did first? She asked for help. So if you are suffering and if you are going through a dark time where you're self-sabotaging, you don't know what's going on with you, sometimes we need that accountability partner. We need somebody to pull us out of the darkness to help us see, how we can shift it and not have to do it alone. So if that is you, please sign up to work with me. I would love to shift your reality with you. You're doing all the work on your own. I'm just guiding you and giving you tools and exercises to do each week. We work for 6 weeks, work for like 60 minutes to 90 minutes, depending on the session, depending on your angels and guides. We'll pull cards. We'll do the all game experience if you want to try that. But it is wild how much these manifestations start to come in when you change your inner world. So I just wanted to pop on and share these few good stories. They made me feel so good as their coach and as their guide. I could go to bed knowing that, like, okay, they got it now. They know how to do it on their own. My goal is to teach you all that I know, all that I've experienced, so that you have the tools now to move through life, remembering your power, remembering that anything is changeable. And there's nothing that's impossible. If somebody's telling you it's impossible to sell your house, absolutely not. You go to your journal, you write out the outcome that you want, and you believe it's possible. If anybody's telling you that, oh, this person will never treat me better, that is false. We can change how people respond to us. We're not changing the exact personality of the person, because they might go and treat somebody else differently, but we can change how they respond to us by what we believe about ourselves. This work is so powerful, you guys. And if you step into it fully and you commit to it, your life can change. You can start to create such massive change in your life, and manifestations like 26K out of nowhere will start to flood in. And you're just going to be so overjoyed that you did it, that you and God did it, and you were patient and you were kind and you were taking care of yourself. And that, to me, going to bed every night knowing that I'm protected, and that when I take a leap of faith, I will be supported and I will have money when I need it, that is gold. That is all you need in life. When you have faith, you have everything you need. Okay, so if you need help building your faith, message me, hit the link in the comments to sign up to work with me. I am sending you so much love. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell, and I will see you all in the next one. Thank you so much for supporting me, my daughter, and our channel. All right, peace out.